Thank you, God. Thank you, Lord. I would like to start quicker than I did in the last introduction video. So at the moment, I'm probably just going to go straight into it. I'm going to talk slower because I feel like the other videos were reliant on captions, and I would like to have the viewers experience the video without captions being necessary. Now, I want us to focus on the following topics for this for the next 3 video uploads, which would be the constants of our world will be challenged and changed. I'll go into that in this video. 3 days of darkness. This is really important. That part will probably take a while to get into, but it's very important that I explain it properly. And then lastly, unforgiveness, resentment, and bitterness. And offense hurting the church, which is the people in the congregants, not the sanctuary that you identify denominationally speaking. This is deeper than that. We are the vessels in which God's kingdom is established and his temple is. And his temple is only as strong as his followers and the standard of which his followers live in and live by. Now, the constants of our world. Now, the constants of our world, I'm speaking strictly not in societal circumstances where it's just technology. This isn't superficial. This is probably going to be more of a discussion on the sun, the moon, and the municipal powers. But that's, again, a subcategory. I don't really want us to focus on, government and everything, because I think we understand to an extent that the government kind of is a little flaky. That's a nicer way of putting it. So we're going to go back to the sun and moon and how 2017, 3 years back, I was going to say 2. Wow, time flies. But 3 years back, there was an eclipse around late August. And eclipses are important because it's a sign of the coming of Yah. It's not supposed to be a spectacle that people make it usually when there's stir about it in social media. I'm not sure if you can hear that in the background, and I apologize, but helicopters hover over my neighborhood constantly. They've been doing this, I believe, since a year and a half ago. My neighborhood is under close surveillance because we are a community of calm people, and we're actually a thriving community that is predominantly a minority neighborhood. So I was just wondering, probably that's why the government's watching it so closely, because they I don't know. The government just has a lot of money that it splurges on for the weirdest projects because it's all Satan endorsed. As in Lucifer endorsed. Anyway, the eclipse, and then the year after I went to Germany because a friend of mine invited me, and they were so kind. It's a nice family, and quite frankly, Germany was but the people were great. And at some point, we were looking up at the stars and reading the constellations and everything. And there was a blood moon, a red moon that night. And aside from the awe that it kind of brought to me, I kind of realized that it was just things were happening so close together. And this resembles just sort of contractions or birthing pains that the Bible mentions. So when things no longer happen every 50 years or every 25, it's more of just every other year, or I guess something strange happening in our world every other moment. You know what I mean? So the sun, and how the sun shines. The sun shines because God's face is allowing it to shine. Like, the reason why any heavenly host shine in what we describe it to be as our universe, it's because God's face shines in the direction of it. Otherwise, it would, whatever God doesn't acknowledge and shuns is the outer darkness. And the outer darkness is just destined to die. The outer darkness experiences no breath, no water, obviously no light, no love, and nothing good, because God is literally the walking as he walked as a man on earth, talking as he talked as a man on earth. He is the truth, the life, and the light. And without God acknowledging you, you get none of it. And that's why the adversary and his accomplices are so crazy, because God has shunned them, and they can't help but be crazy because God won't acknowledge them, because of their vanity and their idolatism. They idolized Lucifer as opposed to just appreciated the role he played in heaven, and whatnot. We will probably go into that later. That was more of just like a foreshadowing of like a future, just not discussion, but a future item that I will explain later. That's very significant. And now on to the days of darkness. And I was reluctant to get into the days of darkness without sort of like tying in the scriptures to the first topic I mentioned, the sun and the moon and the blood moon and the eclipse. But I kind of don't want to mention the scriptures there because I like to sum it up towards the end and tie it up properly by like showing how everything sort of like coincides.